Could Randy Gregory be on his way to Seattle? According to a new report, the Seahawks have interest in signing the veteran pass rusher. We'll dive into the possibility, go over the good, the bad, and the ugly about potentially bringing Randy Gregory to your Seattle Seahawks. Coming up in just a matter of moments here on this edition of Seahawks Today. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. Before we do, it is week number 2 of NFL free agency. You want the Seahawks to make another signing, a splash signing, if you will, then go ahead and like today's video. If not, if you're content with just what they have, comment and tell me why you feel that way. Let us know one way or the other, and we'll get started here on today's show. Randy Gregory, could he be joining the Seattle Seahawks? Gregory has spent his career with a few different teams, the San Francisco 49ers most recently, the Denver Broncos before that, the Dallas Cowboys, a big name of sorts. And when you look at the Seattle Seahawks, they certainly could be of interest in the pass rusher market. So what about the idea of bringing Gregory to Seattle? More from JosinaAnderson, CBS Sports NFL Insider, posting this last night. I'm told the Seahawks are among teams that have shown preliminary interest in Randy Gregory. Per source, new Seahawks defensive coordinator Aden Durde was in Dallas as a defensive line coach when Gregory was with the Cowboys. And to kind of give perspective of who Randy Gregory is and what potentially his role could be in Seattle, here's what I want you to think of here, folks. He's kind of like a big-name version of Darrell Taylor, who's already on the Seahawks roster, right? If the Seahawks were to sign Randy Gregory, I think that would be about all she wrote for Darrell Taylor in his time in Seattle. I know that they just agreed to a new deal with Darrell Taylor, but what I would expect at that point, if you bring in Randy Gregory, you're probably going to trade Darrell Taylor. So what the Seahawks have to be asking themselves is, do we want to trade out, essentially, Darrell Taylor for Randy Gregory? Because it seems unlikely that you would have both on this Seahawks roster. That's the situation you would pretty much have to ask yourself. Now, what would you potentially be getting if you bring in Randy Gregory? The 2015 second-round pick out of Nebraska certainly has plenty of name recognition, but the alarming thing, if you will, for me, is although he is the big name and everyone knows who he is, the production hasn't been quite as much as you would expect. He only has 2 career seasons with at least 6 sacks. So we've seen him look really good at times and then other times just kind of disappear. And his time in Denver, Sean Payton was kind of quick to move on from him and goes to San Francisco and didn't really play a significant role in that San Francisco 49ers defense last year. So count me skeptical, to say the least, but we'll show you the benefit of the doubt for him as well. We're going to be very fair and honest, as we always are here on Seahawks Day when it comes to Randy Gregory in just a moment. Let's ask you guys first, though. Should the Seahawks sign Randy Gregory? Y for yes and for no. Our pinned comment today. Tell us what you think if Randy Gregory should be on his way to Seattle or not. Today's show is made possible by PrizePicks, and they've got specials for new and returning users alike for March Madness when you head over to prizepicks.com/CLNS. Football season may be over, but the action on the hardwood is heating up. Whether it's March Madness or the fight for NBA playoff seeding, there's no shortage of high-stakes basketball moments this time of year. Get in on the excitement with PrizePicks, America's #1 fantasy sports app, where you can turn your hoops knowledge into serious cash. You guys know I love me some college basketball. I'm going to be at the Final Four here in a few weeks myself, and here's what I'm looking at tonight, really for the next couple days, actually. With the first 4 beginning this evening, I got Isaiah Stevens from the Colorado State Rams going off for more than 12.5 points tonight. And then, of course, we got the great Caitlin Clark from Iowa. She's easily going to have more than half a point. That's a gimme. If I'm putting $20 down on that, I can make $50 on PrizePicks. Play along with me there, folks. March Madness kicking off tonight with the first 4 games. You can pick more or less right now. PrizePicks is also giving us that free pick for Caitlin Clark's matchup on Saturday. Just select more than half a point for Clark. Compare it with another winner for 3 times your money. I'm looking at putting $20 down, making $50 if both those hit, folks. PrizePicks is simple. You can pick more or less than on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. Get started now if you haven't already at PrizePicks.com/CLNS and get a first-time deposit match of $100. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy. Link is in the comments and description of today's video. All right, back to Randy Gregory here. Everyone, I think, knows who Randy Gregory is, but I don't think everyone is quite aware about his lack of production, of what we mean. He is a name that I think everybody is familiar with, but it's one of those things where, what's the old saying, where perception and reality don't necessarily meet here. That's kind of the case with Randy Gregory, if we're going to be honest with you. You look at the numbers the last 4 seasons, 3.5 sacks last year, 2 sacks the year prior to that, 6 sacks in 2021, 2020 with 3.5 sacks there. The numbers don't live up to the hype. And if I'm going to be frank with you, I think Randy Gregory is highly overrated. If we're going to be honest with you, of who Randy Gregory is, for those numbers you just saw, and the name that he is, he's highly overrated. I mean, I hate to admit it. I hate to dog the guy, but that's just the truth of the matter is. And you think about it, playing under Aden, Durde, playing in San Francisco, he's had opportunities to show up and show out, but there's not much to show for with a guy that's supposed to be all that in a bag of chips. Who's the player you want the Seahawks to sign in free agency? Who's the name that comes to mind? Whether it's a guy like Randy Gregory or somebody else. Way in the comment section, tell us what you think. Give me a name that you'd like to see in Seattle. We're continuing to cover everything you need to know when it comes to free agency, trades, the draft. We're your offseason headquarters here on Seattle Seahawks Today. We just passed up 51,000 subscribers, and we're not slowing down from there, folks. Lock us in for the latest happenings on your favorite team all off-season long. No one is covering the Seattle Seahawks like we are here on Seattle Seahawks Today. Subscribe now, youtube.com/Seahawks TV. We got you covered each and every day here on Seahawks Today. Subscribe now. You'd be glad you did. Now, as promised, I did tell you that we would be very fair to Randy Gregory. We started out with the negatives. Now let's go to the positives. What type of world could Gregory succeed in Seattle? Here's a name I would think about for drawing comparisons here. Mike Macdonald has a great track record of developing rush defenders and doing so with value. We saw that in Baltimore the last couple seasons. And I think about what we saw last year from Jadeveon Clowney, where he had 9+ sacks. It was his best season in years, and they rotated him in, and he became a key piece of the Baltimore Ravens defense on a discount after a number of teams had already given up on him. Gregory, I think, could play a similar role to what Jadeveon Clowney did in Baltimore. I know that Clowney is out there, but Gregory, I think, is going to be cheaper than Clowney and potentially could do the same thing Clowney could bring to the table. To kind of expand upon that further, I think that you're looking at Gregory being a pass-rushing type edge. You're rarely going to ask him to be involved in pass coverage, which is a very good thing. There's just no need to put Randy Gregory in pass coverage, if we're going to be frank. And you're going to give him the opportunity to show off his speed, his length, and size, which are the strengths of Randy Gregory. So, if done right, Randy Gregory could be a successful football player for the Seattle Seahawks. But he also has a track record of not looking so great either. So, we'll see. The fact that he did play under Aden, Durde in Dallas could be a good thing, that there is that familiarity there. But then again, the production isn't what has made out to be either. And at the end of the day, too, you can never have too many pass rushers. I mean, simple as that. If you're the Seattle Seahawks and you're looking at a guy like Randy Gregory or some other guys out there, you can never have enough guys to get after the quarterback. If you enjoyed today's show, you want the Seahawks to make another signing, like the video. We'd certainly appreciate it. And we'll see you next time right here on Seattle Seahawks.